Sarah with Finders Keepers, and we were just wondering, how many ways can you screw up paper?
So this week we're going to be unpacking our arsenal of distressing techniques for you.
Right after the whistling.
Hi,
It's Finders Keepers.
here we are again. Thank you for coming. It's our weekly State of the Paper address.
Every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. on
And here we
Facebook
are.
Live.
And here we are doing it again.
Again.
Yes.
Sorry we were not as live as we could have been last week, but we had to meet with our
but
washi guy.
Yeah, it was good.
It's going to be very beneficial for
There's
all of our
some
viewers.
Really wonderful products headed your way. It's going to be really great, and we're super excited about it. Yes, so that's one thing that's going on. Another thing that's going on, you've got kids going all over the place.
Summer!
I know. I love it. I really
I'm
do.
actually, this is kind of my first summer that I've been really enjoying it, I
Yeah.
guess, and spending good time with my girls and having a good time. My oldest is going to Anime Expo this weekend in Los Angeles. She's actually doing cosplay, which is costumes.
Yeah.
She's getting dressed up to go to a convention.
She's really into that stuff.
And
Truman, my son, who's our camera guy, thank you, Truman. He's super into science and astronomy, and we found that there's going to be a solar eclipse, a full solar eclipse in August, and we're going to be going up north to see that better.
Where? When? I didn't even know.
August 21st is when it's happening, and well, it turns out that the city where it has the best view on the west coast is up in Oregon, and it's already packed. Like, you can't even find a hotel. So I'm not exactly sure how it's all going to work. It's one of those things you have faith, and it unfolds as it should.
Just happens.
So that's one thing.
How exciting!
Our other big news is Rach took a tumble.
I hate you so much.
Did you fall down?
I hate you so.
Here,
I've got something for you. Oh dear God.
That I want you to wear when you're in our studio. It's going to help keep you protected. That a girl. There you go. Now we're safe.
So, I'm not going to wear this in the studio. How's my hair?
That was so wonderful for you. Thank you.
I'm so happy to make
Sarah
you
loves
happy.
you. Sarah loves you. Okay, so that's enough of that nonsense.
I did. I was petting my dog yesterday, and I was leaning back in my office chair, which is totally okay. I do it all the time. But I was leaning back, and then I was leaning sideways to pet my dog, and I the whole chair. She fell off her chair. And I hurt my knee pretty bad.
She did.
It's really banged up.
I'm sorry that you hurt your knee.
Yeah.
But it is a great
I'm
story.
glad to be your entertainment, that my pain is your entertainment.
It is. Your pain is my entertainment, and thank you. I appreciate it.
I do what I can.
So today, guess what? We have some bad news. We have some distressing news.
It's very distressing.
Distressing news.
Very distressing.
Today, we're going to be talking about distressing
Techniques.
And these are distressing techniques. Oh, I'm wringing my hands.
They're so distressing.
Rachel's kind of the queen of distressing, and not just to like furniture and floors and stuff like that, but paper as well. So she's going to walk us through, and I'm going to follow along as her student.
As my student. I'm going to give her a lesson.
And we're going to be working on our little tags.
We have lots and lots of tags.
Yes.
Now, this is a precursor to
Yeah.
a class that's going to be coming up soon. We're not
Right.
exactly sure of the date because we're trying to get some guest livers to
Yes,
do
we
stuff.
are, and that's going to be really fun.
So
If,
we're
in fact,
excited.
if you're a paper crafter and you're in the Claremont Pomona area and you'd like to share a technique, you should probably shoot us an email, and we could totally have you on.
Yeah,
You do that.
we'd love to have guest people on our show.
Show us what you got.
Fun!
Show us what you got.
Because you know we are a little silly though.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
So,
So I'm going to start first off with a very basic technique called sponging. I learned this when I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I used to make everybody say, everything looks better with sponging. And I'd say, okay, everybody say it with me, and everybody would say, everything looks better with sponging. It's great.
it makes it pop off the page
It
a
makes
little
it
bit.
not
It just
be
defines the edge.
layer on layer of the same thing.
Yeah.
So you just take a quarter, these were circles, and we cut them up into quarters, because then we use
Any
them more.
cheapo sponge will really do the trick.
Pretty much.
These, I think, are Stampin' Up! Sponges, but you don't have to have Stampin' Up! Sponges. You
And
could
so,
do,
yeah, any quality, cheap, whatever you got. sea sponges work too. They give you kind of a different technique.
Yep.
But you just dab it onto the ink, and then you just put it along.
And it's
the
literally
edge.
that easy. And
That's it.
And now she has this nice,
And so
crisp.
now, I know we're far away today. We're trying
Yeah.
some different filming
Yeah.
techniques, but you can see here, this side, it's
Sure, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you
color
see?
on
Okay.
color, and this side, you've got a little bit of an edge. So that
Mhm.
makes it look really nice. And also you can go straight up and down
Mhm.
like this, or if you tilt it and
You
go
get a
this
little-
way,
Yeah.
you get a little bit more.
And it's just
of
a
an
nice
edge.
soft color too. You're not going to get a really harsh line with that. So
Sarah is going to be making a tag using these techniques, so she's going to come up with a pretty finished piece
I
at
am.
the end. So you kind of only want to do that like on one side, because
Yeah.
we have other stuff for the other sides. So I'm
Okay.
going to set this aside. We're going to take pictures of all these too and put them up for you guys on with a blog post. So don't you worry about that. Don't worry, pretty little head. So the next thing is, this is called the distressor tool. And what it is in between each of
Sharpies.
these little rivets
really sharp.
are knives. They're blades, essentially. And so for this, all you do is you stick your paper in there, and you just
Keep getting it.
kind of distress it. And again, I know you guys probably can't see these up close, but we're gonna put some pictures up. Now, that is the distressing tool. You can just as easily do this with a pair of scissors.
Rach, are all these little notches the same
They're
knife?
all the same knife. It's just one blade in there. It doesn't matter. You can take the edge of your scissors and do the exact same thing. You have more because that's only a certain depth, but with the scissors, you can get even some tears and get it a little bit more jagged, okay? So just keep that in mind. And then you can go over that and you can sponge or distress that technique, you know, to make that pop even a little bit more. So Sarah, I think you did yours with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to sponge on mine, but I'm going to show you our next technique, which is this is a sponge dauber. It's just a little spongy kind of thing
Oh, and
here.
we're using Tim
yeah.
Holtz acid-free distress ink and wilted violet.
Wilted violet,
Today,
because I like purple.
Yeah.
And this is what was this, color blending tool?
That's a color ink blender.
It's from Tim Holtz.
Yeah.
You can get them in different places.
And this is a Stampin' Up! Equivalent. It's called an ink dauber.
A sponge
A
dauber.
sponge dauber. And it's just that you can put it on your finger and
Yeah.
I usually don't. I usually hold it.
I usually hold it. My
Yeah.
fingers don't fit in there very well. But the same kind of thing.
fingers are chubby.
This is a sponge. So this is also a sponge. So it's kind of the same thing. You can daub it onto your ink, and then you can do the same kind of thing that you do with the sponge, but you get a more defined edge. Or what I like to do is, and I know this is difficult, but if you put it down on we have these
These are like silicone
Teflon
mats.
matte things.
Yeah.
But you ink it up, and then you just kind of sponge it around.
So you're like half on the mat and half on the
mat
card.
and half. Now you can't, because this has such a definitive edge. You want to be careful not to just pounce right on the
Because you get a
cardstock,
circle.
because you get a circle.
Yeah.
Now, if you want a circle,
That could be kind of a what do they call it? Bokeh lights.
right?
That could be cool.
So I'm kind of doing it a little bit and kind of all over, and so you're actually getting like a real circle-y type thing. But for the distressing thing, you just kind of go around your edges, and the more you go around them, kind of the darker they're going to become. Okay, so obviously more ink, more color, right? So you guys can see that. So Sarah's working on hers and getting hers going over there. So then I'm going to come in with another kind of, it's kind of a backgroundy kind of, this is a distressing technique, but anybody know what this is?
It's Sarah Ann wrap.
It's Sarah Ann wrap. Da 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 da. Okay, so don't be scared to use the things that you find in your kitchen, or your studio, or your husband's office, or your children's room.
Yeah, you can use saran wrap to lift off too. If you're doing a real wet technique, you can use it to lift off. But today we're going to be doing something different.
So I'm just kind of using this like I did the sponge, and you just ink it up. It's really cool. And you get kind of these really cool, just sort of a textured background on that. Again, the more ink that you use, the more color you're going to get, and if you just want it around the edges for your distressing technique, but I really like that. Another thing, what Sarah was talking about is if you have ink colors down and you spritz them with water, then you can use this to kind of pick it up.
And you get like this marbleized, you get like these veins where the crinkles of the saran wrap are.
So you
and then you just lift it up.
You lift it up, and so it'll give you another technique, but that's always a fun one.
Yeah.
Bubble wrap works great for this too. I love doing this with bubble wrap also. Okay, so moving on to our next technique. Again, we're finders keepers. And we're glad that you guys are here, and we're showing you some distressing techniques. This is a stipple brush.
Very distressing technique.
It's very distressing.
It's actually a stenciling brush. I use it as a stippling brush. Stippling and stenciling are not 100% the same thing.
It's a number 6, 1929 bristle.
All you need is like a paintbrush with a crew cut.
It's got to have a flat top.
And like be real stiff.
Got
it's not a soft bristle at all.
Right. And this one, again, we're just pouncing onto the ink pad, and you just kind of...
And it's kind of great. You get almost a spattering. It's like little dots, but they're not of even
it's
size.
not like the other sponge where you got a definite dot. This is kind of a...
It's like, it looks like a mist on the paper almost, like a little
bit of a mist on it.
Yeah.
So that's one way, but then you can also use that with stencils. So this is just a Heidi Swapp stencil. I think it's Heidi Swapp.
I believe it is.
Yes. It is. It's Heidi Swapp. So she has tons of different stencils. And so I'm going to just borrow the stencil brush back again, or the stipple brush, and I'm going to do it right over just on the corner of this tag.
I bet you could also do that with a sponge dauber. I don't know if you could do it with this.
I don't know that that's got enough oomph.
Yeah, enough softness to it to squish the color through the dots.
When you lift it up, you can see the dots. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. Again, so many different, there's florals, there's geometrics, there's lines, there's all kinds of fun stuff that you can do with that one. I'm going to set that one aside. Let's see. And how are you doing over there, Sarah?
I'm doing just great.
Her tag is going to be so pretty when we get there.
Yeah.
So the next thing we have is using re-inkers. These are the re-inkers. This is a Stampin' Up! Night of Navy re-inker that you use with a spritzer bottle. You can get these anywhere. This is a Stampin' Up! One. We really like the Stampin' Up! Ones. They have a really fine mist to them. And then you just put, we have about half, maybe, of alcohol. Straight up rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, just the kind you buy at the store. And then a few drops. I remember when I first was using these, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to put the whole re-inker in there? Like, I didn't know. And it seemed like a waste of ink to have a whole thing of ink. But then you can put water in there.
You can put water.
Because the ink works with water. We use alcohol because it's fast drying.
Dries fast.
So
you can put straight up ink too.
Yeah, you can.
Because you'll get a much darker.
It's just, it's a much darker and a little bit more expensive effect.
A little bit more expensive. But I just want to show, these are just little wooden...
Oh yeah, we just dug those out of our embellishment drawer. They're like little wooden elements. We picked a bumblebee. They're, they're all, anything, you could actually use your paper punches too.
Your punches.
If you want butterflies or flowers or whatever.
Anything that has a silhouette, or even like those really intricate doily type punches and stuff.
Like lace
those
or doilies.
Work great to put over the edge or the bottom of your paper that you're distressing. And again, this is just, I'm just going to spritz. Yeah, let's move those out of the way.
Out of the way too. Get out of the way! She's gonna spritz!
I'm gonna spritz!
Alright.
And so now, if I go like this.
Oh, look at you with your little negative bee.
So now you have like a little negative space of your little bumblebee.
Okay. And it's starting to smell like a nail salon in here.
It smells so good. Alcohol. I forgot to get our wipes to clean up my area. Although mine doesn't really matter, but this saran wrap is working pretty good if you want to use that. Whenever you're using alcohol or water, any of those techniques, you're probably going to have to set your project aside to dry in between. And
those towels we wanted.
Yeah, I forgot to get the towels. No, it's okay. And so no, we're good. You want to make sure that you let it set aside and dry before, sometimes it has to dry completely before you go to your next thing. Like if we were going to stamp right on this, because it's alcohol, it's dried pretty fast, but if we had mixed with water,
you don't wait.
It would bleed.
Yeah.
Or
you
could
could use a blower, I mean like an air gun.
An air gun or heat gun. That's what I was trying to say.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to our next one. This is, I'm going to go back here to the ink. So this is just the ink pad. Just like with the sponging, you can go direct to the paper with your ink. It gives you a really saturated, solid, intense color.
You can even drag it across the whole top of your tag. I'm not going to do that because I don't really want to.
She's got some different stuff going on, but if you can see that.
I'm going to show this later on. I'm working in another video I'm doing. We're going to do some other inks, and we're going to smear the ink pad all the way across the top.
All the way across.
Yeah.
So another great way to get some kind of uneven stuff. I knew she couldn't stand it. She had to do it. She had to do it.
Just like that. There. I'm allowed.
You're allowed. That's the beauty of this too with distressing techniques. You can just play. And I'm going to actually keep on with this one. This is the Heidi Swap Color Shine. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Kind of protect the thing.
We're going to use some of the saran wrap. Anyway, this is the Heidi Swap Color Shine. We put it in the Stampin' Up! Spritzer bottle again because I like the
and the Heidi Swap one was clogged for some reason, so we came in and
so we just switched it around.
Switched it over.
You want to make sure you shake it up real good.
And it's got a little ball in it, like spray paint cans.
Yep, yep. So you want to shake it up real good, and you want to hold it about 10 to 15, 10 to 12 inches away. And depending on where you want it, you know, you got to kind of plan in advance. And so this one is the gold. And so again, it gives you a little bit of shine. I know you guys can't see it, but that's just another way to get some of that texture going, so that it's just fun.
Yeah.
And it's shimmery.
Yeah,
so
it adds a little shimmer
you know
to it.
Anything that sparkles makes me very happy. But again, this, because it does do little globs, sometimes you have to set it aside to let it dry. Okay, moving on. Next, we don't even really need a tag for the next one. You just want to take your standard piece of cardstock and tear it. You just want to rip it.
That's terrible.
Isn't that terrible?
Get it?
Oh, God.
Because you're able to tear it?
Because it's terrible. Get it? Get it? Yeah. Okay, so when you tear cardstock,
we're hilarious.
We're just, we're so finders keepers people. We're just funny.
Yeah, boy, we've got it going.
So on this piece of paper that I've torn, depending on how you tear it, you have to kind of think ahead too, because you want to tear towards yourself. And when you tear towards yourself, the side that you're going to get that is textured, it's going to have. And if you just tear it straight up and down, what did he say?
He said that's a terrible pun. Get it? Yeah.
I liked it. But it kind of has a suede feel. And so this is kind of another technique that I like to do.
Did you say about inking that?
Yeah, not yet. I haven't said that yet. You're spoiling it.
Sorry.
Sarah.
Should I wear the helmet?
You need to wear the helmet. So here. Then with this, and then you can go back with your ink. This is what Sarah was talking about. You can use the sponge. You can use the Tim Holtz. She is laughing, and I'm just going to ignore her and do my job.
Go ahead, do the.
So then you can sponge this and get some more of that ink on there. Wow, it's going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, so I also like to curl up the edges a little bit so that when you put that on to a card or onto your tag, you've got that little element of texture and stuff going on there. So Sarah, I don't know if you want to put any on yours yet.
Let me see.
Because the other thing you can do is, here's just another piece of paper. I'm going to use, this is a spritzer and it's just filled with water. I'm going to use very little, just to, because this is such a small piece of paper. But crumpling is a great technique to give you, again, that texture if you're doing some layering and stuff. And so I crumple it, and then I uncrumple it, and then I crumple it again, and then I uncrumple it, and then I crumple it again. Just depends on how much. I used to have customers when I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I had one customer, she would not crumple paper or tear
Would
paper.
she let you crumple it for her, or
Sometimes.
she just didn't want it crumpled?
Sometimes, but for more often than not, she had to use scissors or a trimmer, and she could not.
I had a friend like that. She said, "I don't make messes."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well,
She's just like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, it's supposed to be messy. And she's like, well, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
And I said, okay. I said, you're deviating from the original design, and therefore you're deviant, and I can't help you if you mess it up. It was hardcore, man.
Wow. Craft fight.
So one of the things you can do is you can have this kind of crumply piece of paper. You can add that to your project. You can
as a layer, yeah.
You can ink over this. You can spritz it with the gold and get some shimmery going on. One things that I love to do, and this is Stampin' Up! Cardstock.
I can't stop her from doing this. She does this all the time. I'm like, Rachel, stop tearing. No, I got to get to the core of the paper.
I have to get to the core of the paper, and the Stampin' Up! Cardstock
does a great job.
When you tear this apart, it feels like suede. It is so. I wish you guys just like reach through and touch this, because
soft kitty,
warm kitty, little ball of fur. We might get in trouble. That might be copyrighted or something. Please don't turn us in.
I don't think so.
No. But through the magic of video, I have another piece where I've been able to really tear it all the way down. And this just works really great as a nice accent, because not only tore it down, not only do you get the crumple, but you also get the suede. So if you want to use any of that on your little tag there, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
And then I think, is this our last one? Yes, it is. So this is a piece of Coordinations cardstock, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's by Basil. Stampin' Up! Used to carry it, but I think Basil has it now.
Yeah.
But what it does is when you tear it, it's like a different colored core. Get it?
So it's
coordinations,
and so
get it?
You can. One of the great things about it for distressing is
I cut out.
Take it away.
I cut out one of these.
Here's Rachel.
I cut out to match the tag out of the coordinations.
So she's
paper.
gonna get out. What are you gonna use on that?
I'm gonna use just sandpaper. Just
this old tag.
This old tag. With Rachel.
Just a little tool belt.
Yeah, got my little tool belt, my sanding paper, and my spritzers, and my snips.
Measure twice, cut once.
Yes. Or in the case of tearing, measure twice, tear once.
Mm-hmm.
When you tear the paper, you can see that you're getting this other color. So that's how you know that the interior is a different color. What's fun too is to run this through the embossing, like an embossing folder, and then you go back with your sander.
Oh, because where it's lifted, I know what happens.
It's gonna do that. But this particular piece of Coordinations, on one side it's smooth, on the other side it has a bit of texture. So I'm gonna sand on the texture side, and I'm just gonna sand some of these edges down on the bottom. And depending on what grit your sandpaper is, it may happen slower or faster. So keep that in mind too when you're doing this technique, because if it's too hard to grit a sandpaper, you might just sand it right off. But
yeah.
So now I did it on that texture side, and it's got a little bit of some stuff going on there on the bottom, just on the edges. Again, you can go ahead and tear this, add some spritzing, sponge the edges some more. Why? Because everything looks better with sponges. Sponging.
Can I have that tag? Because I was just thinking, what if I layered that?
Oh, you could totally layer
That
it.
could be kind of cool, like
Yeah.
having that in the background.
Yes. I like that, Sarah. I like where you're going with that. Here is
Oh, I'm gonna stamp something.
Oh, and then of course now Sarah's.
It's still a tiny bit damp, but I think it's good enough for stamping, especially something that's so distressed.
It's so stressed.
It's really stressed.
It's just stressed.
I kind of want to do this. I wonder if I can do this.
Did you bring the blocks in?
I just brought one.
Oh, okay.
So I thought I just needed one.
While Sarah's getting her stamps ready, I also want to just point out these little wooden embellishments that you're using for any silhouetting or for the spritzing. They're now colored and coordinated. If you were making a tin of tags or a set of tags or cards or something, you could totally use this as an embellishment to add on to it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take this little wooden embellishment and I'm going to spritz it with some gold so that it has a little shimmer to it, just because we like doing that and it's fun and exciting. And so now I could add this little bumblebee onto a coordinating card. Maybe this is a tag that goes on a bag for the for a gift. Oh, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. Can I bring, Truman, can you bring this in? I don't know, can we see it okay? I don't know, should we put something behind it? There. Yep.
So we both got to make our little tags, and we hope that this has been fun. Here at Finders Keepers, we love to have days where we just
make a mess.
And that's kind of what we've done here.
Damsels in distress.
It's distressing.
Oh no. So, I don't really know what's wrong with me today. The air quality is a little low.
It's horrible.
And Sarah, I don't think I'm getting enough oxygen into my brain. So that's that problem.
That explains a lot.
That explains it.
That explains a lot. So again, I'm just going to recap really fast.
Oh, okay. We're going to go through it really fast. I'm going to time you. Go.
Sponges. Then I don't remember what order these came in, but this was the mister with the ink. This is the stipple brush. This is the Saran wrap. This is the distressing tool with the scissors, or the distressing tool itself. We have direct to paper, we have spritzer, and we have completed tag. Bam!
20 seconds.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We are going to, like I said, we are going to take pictures of all of these. And
yes, we will. And we'll do more videos, like overhead, shorter technique videos. We have a whole plan for these little minis.
We're coming out with a new
FK
line
shorts,
of FK shorts.
Little shorts.
Get it?
Get it? Because we're short.
Because we're short.
Okay, so we are starting that really soon.
Yes. Sarah's been.
Yeah, but first, because the reason I haven't started those yet is because we are up against a massive deadline. We are sending our designs to the manufacturer on July 10th, which is a week from Monday. No worries. Because they're pretty much done, right? Yeah. Talk about distressing.
Talk about distressing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But so exciting. Very
exciting. We're very excited about these releases. They're going to be super great. I think you're...
2 sweets.
Yeah. And they're sweet.
2 sweets. And do you want to tell them about kind of the feel, or...
Well, sure. I don't want to give you names yet. Because that's kind of, the words are kind of my thing, and I like to hold that back a little bit. But I can tell you that we have one that's really bright and fun and kind of silly, and we have another one that's kind of more vintagey and more distressed and
kind of got some of this
kind
stuff
of
going on.
old feel.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Truman says yes, we will.
We're gonna get there in just a second.
Just a second, for sure, though.
Oh, one more thing too.
So because of this, though, yeah. What did you want?
I just was gonna say shout out, hi Mackenzie. Even though I don't know that she's on, but I just wanted to say hi to Mackenzie because she mentioned watching last week and was distressed. And hi Linda. Those were some people that were.
Oh, I hope Linda's able to watch this time. I know she's super busy.
She's super busy.
We have this big deadline coming up on the 10th. And we had hoped to be able to get our tag class, which is why we wanted to do today. This was kind of part of that, for the 7th. But, I mean, yeah.
That's right before the 10th.
Right before the 10th. And so it's the Friday before the Monday that we're
very distressed.
Yeah. So
next Thursday
what we're going to say is we're not going to do a class this month, but we'll be back on August 4th.
Yes,
the 4th of August, which is the Friday at 10 a.m. for a live demo. And we might have a guest.
We might have a guest.
We don't know for sure, but we're working on that.
We're scheduling.
So it could be a card class or something like that. And then we'll get back into it with the tags and all that.
The tag class.
Yeah.
We might be a scrapbook class.
We will let you know as things unfold.
Yes. Yes.
And what else? Oh, the last thing. We have up on our website now for you, your freebie wallpaper. I hope this helps you, have, there we go. A beautiful desktop for your computer.
Yes, and we have 3 versions. We have this one with the actual calendar.
And these flags say to do, to file, and screenshots. And I just like drag things into these areas on my desktop to help me keep things organized. Because you know how your desktop can kind of get out of control? Do you know that? Does anyone know about that? I am, of course, great about keeping my desktop really tight.
And Leanne, you too. I'm going to call you out, girlfriend.
Very zen-like on my desktop. There's no chaos there at all.
None at all.
Yeah. Anyway, so this month. It's free. It's for you. I do hope you stop by our website and grab it for yourself because it's our gift to you. And just to help you, have a cheery month and stay grounded. Like the great mighty tree.
Anyway. So Sarah.
Yeah.
What is the state of the paper this lovely Thursday?
Well, Rachel, I have to tell you, I think Truman called it. I think the state of the paper is distressed.
It's a little distressed. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's a happy
Because
distress.
when we do this distressing techniques, it makes it very happy.
I feel like I'm getting ink all over my
I do
face
too.
because my hands are literally covered
in ink.
But that's
and
okay.
gold.
It's kind of part of our job to be covered in
And
ink.
we love it.
Yeah.
Inky fingers are happy fingers. So you guys have a great weekend. Stay cool if it's hot where you are. Stay dry if it's rainy where you are.
Yeah.
Get warm if it's cold where you are.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead and have a drink.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for joining us here at Finders Keepers. Have a great weekend.
Bye.